So the Kohen Gadol used to enter into Kodesh HaKodashim with many zechuyot. Midrash says zechut of Brit Milah, the zechut of different things in Talmud Torah was a big zechut that he entered into Kodesh HaKodashim with, and I think all of us should feel really proud and feel good. The Rebbe's and all types of Rabbanim Gedol Ador, and they spoke in the beginning of Yom Kippur, and they gave their drasha entering into Yom Kippur. They used to always find zechuyot. Everyone knows Rav Zusha, Rav Yisrael Bardachov. They used to find zechuyot. What can we mention to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that look at what we accomplished, look at what we did, look at Jews, look how beautiful we keep mitzvot. And I think we should feel proud going to Yom Kippur that we spent a day of learning, half a day, whatever everyone did. And that's our zechut that we can enter into Yom Kippur. Michtav Eliyahu has a chapter, Teshuvah derech ketzara. Person who wants to do Teshuvah, short-term sort of remedy, had to be chozer b'teshuvah. And obviously he wrote it during the Tekufa, during the time that was sarot in the world. I'm not so sure when he wrote this, World War II, or during different types of bombings that happened in Eretz Israel. But he mentioned, Be'et Norah Hazot, during this very tremendous and trembling moments. We don't know what to expect. We don't know what's going to come. We don't know where the bombs are going to fall. We don't know what's going to happen to anybody. We can't go ahead and do the process of Teshuvah the way we do it. It takes time. There's a whole process to be chozer b'teshuvah. Zukukim anu l'teshuvah derech ketzar. Therefore, he had to come up with a system where people can go ahead and begeder yesh qoneh olamo b'sha'ah achat, a first aid kit for Teshuvah. The person is in a matzav, a very tight situation, and I think this is where we're holding before Yom Kippur. We need to know how to be chozer b'teshuvah. So he gives you arba darachim, 4 different ways to do it. Limut HaTorah is the first way to do it. How does he mention this? Lahavriyach ad yetzer. A person who wants to know how Talmud Torah is able to help him to be chozer b'teshuvah, it makes the yetzer hara to run away. Ramchal explains that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made ra, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made evil. The purpose of this evil was what? Not because he wanted to say, I'm there to get Rishayim, I'm going to destroy them, I'm going to get them their, the moments that they cannot stand to their nisyonot. He says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to show the world, I can make a bria that is far away from me. I'm kulotov. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I'm perfect. The perfect world that I made, but yet people can say Hashem cannot make ra. The guy who believe in 2 different kochot, Zartosht, they believe in koach hara and there's koach hatov, the good and bad, evil inclination, 2 different kochot. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I'll be the one who makes the ra, but I'll give you the power to destroy the ra. And therefore, the ability to destroy the ra, Ramchal writes, is Talmud Torah. Every person who studies and learns be'iyun, every kasha, every hardship in limud shows a weakness, and I think Dr. Khan, knows that we read this together, and how every time a person goes through the sugya and he gets stuck, what's the message? Does that mean that learning is so difficult, or is it because there's a tachlis to it? Ramchal says every kushya makes it that there's a sitra achar in the world. There's yetzer hara, the Satan is blocking the way for you to go further into aliyah and to elevate yourself. That's the question. You give a good answer to a good question, you destroy the layer of yetzer hara. You destroy the layer of Satan, a layer of ra in the world. Arizal, when he used to learn, he used to scream. The Masao Matan, a person goes to yeshivot, you know what? It's not a library. They cut a library, they put up signs, library. You go, there's a kol Torah, everyone's screaming their heads off. Remember my Rabbi Rav Berkowitz, when he used to sit in the Talmidim, we used to hear him scream from the other side. Scream loud. What is it? Ritcha d'oraita. Gemara says there's fire burning within a Talmud Chacham's heart, and that's what it is. It comes out. The Arizal held that fire of Torah is able to burn through Yetzer Hara. And he screamed at it. We say in the Vidui of Yom Kippur, Chatati aviti pashati, at the end is a line. It says, I know that I can't guarantee that I will not sin. Why? Because Yetzer Hara is made of Eish, and I am Basar Vadam. I understand that I can't do it. Fire? How could you beat fire? But the Talmud Torah, what makes us be able to defeat Yetzer Hara, Lahavriyach HaYetzer, is the fire within of a Talmud Chacham, a person who learns, any Ben Torah who is able to learn, with giving good tirutzim, that's the importance of learning Be'iyun. A person who learns deep into Sugyot, doesn't just Shidchi, let's go learn Chumash, let's learn Tehillim, that's good. But the real Talmud Torah that's able to go ahead and be Mavriach HaYetzer, is able to make person be free from the Yetzer Hara, is Limud Be'iyun. That's number one. Number two, Limud HaMusar. Person needs to learn Musar, and Mishnah right by Hilchot Aser Dimei Teshuvah. It's a chiyuv to learn Musar a few minutes a day, every single day. That's how he writes with Shem the Gra. If a person only has a few minutes to learn Torah, what should he be osek and what should he do? He should learn Musar. Why? It says Kinyat Mabat HaEmet. You're able to acquire truth. Right? The truth comes out when you're able to fix yourself, understand what you're lacking and what you need to work on. The Gaon of Vilna writes b'Shem Rav Chaim Vital that the whole purpose of mitzvot, Taryag mitzvot, is tikkun hamidot. We have so many mitzvot, b'ral machavero, b'ral makom. All of that is that you should perfect yourself in midot. So therefore, Musar is the integral part of Teshuvah. 3. L'tzagel b'shivirat haaretz. A person has to understand how to defeat his Yetzer Hara, how to break his ratzon, how to break his will for the evil inclination. Ramban writes, the person who indulges in ma'achalot hamutarot, a person who says, basar glat kosher bet Yosef, I can have steak all day, I can indulge in it, I can have barbecue every single day, I can have all types of wine, expensive whiskey. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with enjoying the world? Okay, true, it's meant for us to enjoy it, it's meant for us to have the pleasure of this world, but the person indulges, Ramban says, it's worse than eating ma'achalot asurot. More harmful to your body, right, is ma'achalot hamutarot, healthy things, than ma'achalot ha'asurot. And Ramban goes on to explain. Person is allowed to be with his wife. Person is allowed to enjoy the world, but Chazal say if you indulge in it, he's going to want davar ha'asur. He gets sick of it, he gets tired of it, he wants to do things that Chazal don't want us to do. Then he's going to end up living with people who he cannot live with. And then one leads to another. Ramban says this, and today the world denies it. The person is going to have ta'ava for mishkav zachar. The person is going to have ta'ava, is going to have desire for animals. Good guyim. If they're doing these types of things, they can justify it. They can say, well, it's part of people's nature. They're born that way. The percentage doesn't show that. 3% of the world are born that way. Maybe they're born that way. But the point is, Ramban says, indulging in the physical pleasures of the world could ruin it for somebody. And therefore, the Ravad writes, the best Teshuvah, best way to give yourself segufim, to give yourself yisurim, as mechaper avonot, to stay away from the last few bites that you have. This is the best Teshuvah.
Who says this?
The Ravad, the Rabbeinu Avram and Rav David, the Rishon. He says, if you're eating a piece of steak, right, it tastes so good. How can you practice pirishut? How can you practice self-control? The last few bites, stay away.
That's not how much you paid for it.
Huh? Throw it away.
No, you don't have to throw it away. Put it away for later. Put it away for later.
You don't throw it away, the waiter does.
That's a different story. If you go to a restaurant, it's a different story. But the point is,
You can't do it at home.
You
can eat everything at home.
person can say, you know what? If I'm so
Just with food or with everything.
with any pleasure in the world, obviously it shouldn't come at the expense of hurting other people. But it means the person's able to control his desires is the best Teshuvah a person can do, better than a regular Tani. That's how he writes it. Next, L'harbot Ma'aseh HaChesed, and the next thing he discusses is Tikkun Ben Adam L'Chavero, which is the last one he focuses on. In the Al-Chetz that we read, the Al-Chetz goes through different Chata'im from A to Z, from Aleph to Taf. From Aleph to Taf, backwards, forwards, we have all types of Chata'im. We mentioned, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we clap, that we did Chata'im be'ones, be'ratzon, be'mezid. We did it with running towards. One of them that we mentioned is B'dibur Peh, Shon Hara. Different Nuschaot how to mention it. How many of us can go ahead and say we're clean from any of these Chata'im? I read a story, a beautiful story, a powerful message. Rav Sham Shavdron, famous Maggid, Rav Kron mentions his Mishalim, his stories all the time. and hear the story from a tzaddik who witnessed the story. It happened during World War I. During World War I, poverty struck in Eretz Israel. People didn't have food to eat. People were devastated, you know. And many mishpachot struggled through it. This mohel, this guy who made parnasa, and he had enough to eat, Baruch Hashem, but he had some savings set aside for just in case. And that savings was a little coin, Napoleon coin, worth enough food for 6 months. And he figured, I'll put it in the china closet. Beauty. Just in case anyone needs it, so we're going to be able to go ahead and sell it and use it. Comes one day, his little child comes to the room, and he looks up, he sees a little coin, and what is it? It's one of those little coins that can go ahead and buy a little candy with it. He takes the coin, goes to the store, right, comes back with candy. Parents come home, the mother comes home, the father comes home, where is the coin? It's missing. Find out the child took it. What'd you do with it? I didn't know, I thought it was one of those little agurot. He went to the store and he bought himself a candy. Oy vey. They run after the store owner and they tell him, "You're a ganav, what'd you do with the fool, our little child, the coin that was worth so much money, give him a little candy?" And the store owner says, "What do you mean? It was that's what it was. It was a agura, it was one of those little small tiny coins. It was worth a candy, that's all he gave me." "No, you're a ganav, you stole from us. How could you do this to us?" Starts screaming, whole commotion, everyone gathers up, everyone's calling him a ganav. Okay, no problem, din Torah. They go to din Torah. And Bedin says, you both have what to say. The best way to resolve is to put a shavua. If you really want to prove yourself innocent, the store owner has to come, make a shavua, make a swear that I didn't take a Napoleon coin. So, store owner says no. Chazal say, even if you swear be'emet, not worth it. The world shook when Allah Baruch Hu announced Ba'aseret HaDivrot, right? That you should not swear falsely. I'm not going to do it. It's kedai to go ahead and gather some money, pay it up, and not to deal with it. Kach have it. And of course, everyone thinks he didn't want to swear because he really stole it, and adds more fuel, and he lost his trust. Now everyone's accusing him, you're a ganav, and we're not going to go buy from you. No way. And slowly he loses his business. So months later, a young man comes to this mohed and he says, "Rabbi, I have to apologize to you. I have to be maskir my chet many months ago. My family was starving. It was mamash sakanat nefashot. I noticed your son was walking with a very expensive coin. I figured, Baruch Hashem, they're doing well. If his son is able to walk around with a coin, they have enough money. I'm starving. My kids are mamash sakanat nefashot." And I gave myself a heter to take the coin from him, and I switched it with one of these agurot, one of these small coins.
Who was this?
A young man. And he said, I had no choice, trust me, it was mamash shat achak. I had no other option, and I felt that's sakan nefashot, that's dochal yisurim. So today, Baruch Hashem, I gathered money, and here's the value of the coin. Please be mochel me. I didn't want to do it because I wanted to steal. That's the end of the story. The tzaddik who said the story over to Rav Shalom Shabtaron, he said, let's think, after 120 years, okay, they're all going to die. They all probably died by then the story was said over. And the store owner, of course, is going to go to Gehinnom. He suffered through things that he never did. So his maqam munach beGan Eden. The mohel, he's going to go to Gan Eden. He didn't do anything wrong. He was honest and he didn't lie. He had the right, and he was a tzaddik. He gave in and he didn't want to swear. The mohel, he had the right to accuse. He had the right to accuse the store owner, and then the Beddin took this case seriously and helped him. So he was being somech on psak Beddin. So he's also going to go to Gan Eden. The Avrich, this young man who stole the coin, he's also honest. What did he do wrong? He was mamash starving. He had nothing else to eat, and he had to take care of his family. So he was Meshiv Gezela, he's returned the stolen object, so he's also going to go to Gan Eden. So who's going to go to Gehinnom for this man losing his business? Who's going to go? People are going to go to Gehinnom. He says, look at the Chomer HaInyan, right? People don't understand what they're doing. How many of us can go ahead and say, you know what, I didn't make comments, I didn't hurt someone's business, I didn't make comments, I didn't hurt someone's shidduch, was pogea someone's shalom bayit. How can I go ahead and say, you know what, I didn't make a comment for institutions, Rabbanim, everything that chas shalom, we don't mean to say it, but We come to Yom Kippur, all of us stand together as a kahal. Even if we didn't do it, but Baruch Hashem, Hashem wants us to be together. Our Teshuvah helps for other people. We do all the al-chitz that we clap is not just for us, it's for everyone in Klal Yisrael. And that's why we have to be matir ha'avaryanim. The reason why in before Kol Nidre we announced that whoever is avaryan, whoever did chataim that makes him be nidui, we allow them to join us for our tefillot. Why do we mention that? So Gemara says any ta'anit that doesn't have in it, Poshei Israel doesn't have in it, Chotei Israel is not a ta'anit. You have to have people. Aaron Kotler, that's how in Lakewood, it was very difficult to find a non-religious Jew. They used to have to search around to see someone with long hair, ask if he's a Jew, just to enter into Bet Midrash, so they can include someone who's not so from into their tefillot of Lakewood Yeshiva. Imagine that, what it means that we have to be together. That's the inyan, that we stand kol kulana, Baruch Hashem, that we share our zechuyot, and we share chas shalom our chataim, in the sense that we're all affected. So when we do clap al chet, we have to have others in mind, and also in our tefillot. Dessler points out that Ben Alam Chaver includes davening for other people. And a person who davens for others to be chozer b'teshuvah, and they should have all the good things that we want them to have, then we are going to be answered first. Nimrisa Hashem should be zuchut for all of us that we learned here today, and our tefillot that we daven should have others in mind, that they should have Yeshua, they should have bracha, and that the Teshuvah should be accepted. And
Very nice. Thank you.